On our way back from Reno, driving back to Denver, we stopped by in Fort Collins, where I went to college, by the way, to go to Totally 80s Pizza, because my nieces had mentioned it was here. We never knew it existed, but we wanted to check it out. As you can see, there are various pieces of memorabilia here. These are all lunch boxes. These are so cool. There's also signatures by different stars. What I love about that is the menu says that when they opened this up, they sort of reached out to stars who found out this was open, and they sent in pictures. And so here's one that's all Princess Bride themed. Yoda. You can tell that they're playing 80s music, of course. Here is a Star Wars inspired diorama, is that what we call those? And the bike from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. There's Pee-wee up there. And I also love how the tables are themed, right? Like there's a Pee-wee's Big Adventure theme table. There's also a Zoltar machine that we put money in and got a fortune. Love Chester. The lamp, or a lamp from Christmas Story. And King of Pop mock-up. I had a jacket that was almost like that. It was those same colors, had that same kind of style, but it had zippers everywhere. I loved it. Here's some other memorabilia. There's the hoverboard from Mattel up there. Super Mario Brothers, we had an NES and played the heck out of that. The Wonder Woman underoos. I actually had Green Lantern underoos, and I love those things. I had a Trapper Keeper. It wasn't that one, but I had one. Other toys. I did have a Thunderhawk because I still have it because I loved Mask. And I had this book here, Third Planet from Altair. I loved the Choose Your Own Adventures. And Barbie and the Rockers, Mork and Mindy, Get in Shape Girl. I remember those, although I hadn't until I saw that. I love these soda cans. I loved New Coke. I really did. I was one of the few people apparently that did, but I loved New Coke. I remember some of these, although I don't think I ever tried them. Like, I've never had a Tab in my life. Even though I drink diet stuff now, I never had one then. I never had a Pepsi Free because I wasn't drinking sugar-free soda. I don't remember 7-Up Gold. I don't remember Pepsi AM, although I suspect that just means it has extra caffeine. I do sort of remember Pepsi Light with the lemon in it, but I wouldn't have been drinking it at the time. And then Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. And I worked at McDonald's, so we actually had these plates at some point. I had both these video games. My brother and I would play them together. And that's all else I had. I never really had into Star Wars figures, and I never really got into Transformers when I was younger. I was more of a G.I. Joe person as far as cartoons go, but I still didn't actually buy any of the things. And then they also have some fashion. I remember ladies wearing those kind of hand cover gloves things just for decoration, because they certainly didn't keep your hands warm. And pumps. I actually don't know what this is from. I'd have to go look it up. But with all those different, maybe it's just the different tchotchkes you could have gotten. Cabbage Patch Kids, of course. Some other fun memorabilia. I had to wait for the family that was eating here to move. I never had a Chia Pet. I did rent videos from Blockbuster, although we had a Hollywood Video closer. That's where we usually get it. I never had a clapper, but I did like the McDLT. When I was working at McDonald's, it was there, and that's when I first learned to like hamburgers that had lettuce and tomato on them. And you had the hot side on this side, and then you had the cold side on that side, and then you put them together yourself. But it used up a lot of styrofoam, obviously, and there was a huge backlash against that. So when McDonald's went away from using a lot of styrofoam, they got rid of this burger. They do have an arcade in here with some familiar games. Oh, Moonwalker isn't working. That's too bad. I liked a lot of these games when I was growing up. I loved Gauntlet. I was never that good at Donkey Kong, though. They have merchandise that you can purchase here if you wish. And the Slimer. And a Mac Plus. And then... love that life-size prop. That's pretty cool. There's also a Chuck E. Cheese head, and there is a story here about it that is pretty cool. Feel free to pause on that. And they also have pressed pennies. Here's a wall of signed pictures. Richard Mall, that's Meredith Baxter, Scott Baio. Can't tell who that one is. I mean, I know what movie it's from, but I can't tell if it's him or her that signed it. I think it's Harrison. Revenge of the Nerds, obviously. Robert Carradine. Scott Bakula. Ernest Cline, author of Ready Player One. Is very 80s influenced. It's so cool. Oh wow, Jambi from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Normally I wouldn't film in a bathroom, but I wanted to show you this. So there's this picture of Pauly Shore here, just above the urinal. And it says here that they met him and he was kind of a jerk. So they just put his picture in here. And they want people to take pictures of it and tag him because he was a jerk about it. Interesting way to get revenge. One thing I think is a really cool detail is their number is 867-5309, like a Jenny. That's pretty cool. I don't know how they pulled that off, but that is a pretty cool detail. I probably should talk a little bit about the food. The appetizers we got were great. The pizzas were fine. Like, they weren't the worst I've ever had. They weren't the best I've ever had. We ordered one that it didn't appeal to me, but Josh really liked it. And it was like a buffalo chicken pizza, which I normally like those, but Josh liked it better than I did. But I did have one of the Frito pie pizzas that my nieces got, and that was pretty good. So yeah, I don't think you would regret coming here, so I recommend it. Plus you get to see all the 80s memorabilia, and it harkens you back to those days when, if you were like me, that you lived in it and experienced it. And I sometimes miss those days. They were young and innocent, mostly just because we didn't have access to the internet and know everything that was going on all the time. But yeah, come take a look at this place when you get a chance. I'll put a link to it below.